Hello my friends, today I have a great video. I'm going to explain to you a big tax loophole and something that you may not know about for all my foreign business owners and my foreign entrepreneurs. I know you guys are out there, you're looking for solutions on banking, you're looking for solutions on payment processors. A US company can solve that for you a lot, and I talk in my other videos about why US companies don't pay income taxes. It's true. If you have a US company and you're a foreign person and you're not doing business in the US, you actually won't pay income taxes. I know there's a lot of information about it. There's other videos that I've made that I'll point to at the end of this, that I'll link below, that explain exactly why you don't pay taxes. But in short, the LLC doesn't exist for tax purposes. So whether you have an LLC or you don't, your situation is as it is. So if you're a person in Greece who is selling services online, you would never pay income taxes in the US. It doesn't matter if you have US clients. When I get a client from Greece, I don't pay taxes in Greece. If you're in this situation, just adding an LLC to your structure and you using US bank accounts doesn't change the fact that you're not doing business in the US, and that's why you don't have to pay taxes. But that's not even the loophole. Right now, when you're trying to get paid, there's a lot of issues with giving people W-9s. And I get this question so much. Basically, US payors, US companies, US tech firms, and recently this week, Mercury Bank is requiring people to sign a W-9. But if you're a foreign person and you have an LLC, technically you wouldn't be signing a W-9. You should sign a W-A-B-E-N or a B-E-N-E if your foreign corporation or company owns the LLC. Now, the loophole that I want to talk to you about is as follows. Without any more hype, the loophole is use a multi-member LLC so that you can give W-9s to people and not have taxes withheld on what you're paid. It's a loophole because you're certifying with a W-9 that you're a US person, but you're also not necessarily subject to income taxes. I say necessarily because if you get paid dividend income, it's still technically subject to tax. However, there's a layer and it gets confusing and you have a lot more control. And that's going to lead me to my secret at the end. So stay tuned, because at the end I got a secret that I want to tell you. Having a multi-member LLC doesn't change the tax situation. It changes what forms you file with the IRS, sure. But you still, if you didn't pay tax as a single member LLC, you're not going to pay tax with a multi-member LLC. So it doesn't change that. And it really is a loophole, because with this, you're allowed to really certify that you are a US person, give a W-9, not have taxes withheld, not have issues getting paid, and also not actually have to pay taxes at the end of the day. It's a great solution. You can do this pretty easily. You can, if let's say I do business by myself and I don't have a wife or kids, and if I do, I don't want to put them on my company. You have different things. You can give someone 1% of your company is enough. It could be less, but it's more complicated. I would just say 1%. It could be another company you own. It could be a foreign entity. It could be your mom, it could be your cousin, your dog. It can't be your dog. It could be your wife, it could be your kids, whatever. You can put them as 1% owner, and bam, you have a multi-member LLC. In the last video, I talked about like kind of how logistically you do that, especially if you have the LLC open already. You need to assign the interest, probably inform the IRS, and do a couple legal things, but it's really not too crazy, and it's also really important, because especially if someone's asking for a W-9. And if you're banking at Mercury Bank, you probably already signed this. And I have a separate video just for that. In short, that's kind of the trick, right? There's things you have to do to administer the trick, but there's a lot of benefits for using a multi-member LLC. There's increased legal protections. It's harder to get the money out of it. If you're a creditor, it might be easier to sell the company because the tax reportings are a little bit more detailed. Potentially, you can avoid FERPTA withholding if you're investing with real estate. I just made a video about that. But there's a lot of benefits to using a multi-member LLC. The single member LLC is generally a little bit simpler, but at the end of the day, it's not that much simpler. You get all these benefits of using a W-9 and being a US person. The secret I wanted to share with you, apart from this, is about the IRS. So in case you didn't know it, returns are very, very rarely audited. If you're concerned about being taxed by the IRS and we're making a position, we're filing a return, 0.01, 0.02, the audit chances are really low. They actually publish it, so don't quote me on it. You can look it up. But the odds of getting audited are really low, and my success rate at dealing with audits, especially as it relates to these instances, are really high. I just started working with a client who is from Asia. He basically was here on a student visa. He was using a personal Stripe account and he left. The IRS assessed him taxes on all of the sales from his Stripe account. Obviously, he wasn't a resident. He wasn't living here. We contested it and we're closing that out right now. It shouldn't be a problem. I have no concerns. But if you're concerned about like getting audited, having to deal with the IRS, it's very rare. It doesn't happen that much. You know, doing business in the US is really, really, in my experience, one of the easiest places to do business, especially if you're from outside the country, because you don't have to pay taxes. I mean, yes, you might have to get the right guidance if you work with us. You know, we have examples where we can open Chase accounts with people without having to travel. They're really cool. They're not managed accounts. They're other accounts. I'm going to make a video about that next. But there's a lot of benefits with using LLCs and having a multi-member LLC. So if you have questions about this, let me know. I have another video here about why the LLC doesn't pay taxes. It's a good video. It goes into more of the technical detail. But I hope this was helpful. I hope this was a good loophole. It really is a loophole. I call it a gray area, a loophole, a trick. Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, click the other video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.